Beautiful yellowtail, Scott.
I got my own problems. Happy for you.
This is the size you want to catch right here, buddy.
The Blue, presented by Yellowfin, with Captain Scott Walker and Captain Steve Roger.
Do you think you had found a spot where you can find some big yellowtails here?
Yeah, we're going to try. We're going to anchor up on the reef there and see if we can't get some yellowtail, maybe some king max. Who knows? Something on the
I
bottom.
went on anchor one time. It is rough.
I know.
But you got to make sure you find the right spot. I don't want to be pulling it all day.
No.
It's a one-time deal.
I got 28 foot of chain. It's going to hold on to something.
Let's do it.
Let's get out of here. So last year we came up here, Scott, and we were using that Simrad bottom machine. We're doing some sailfish shows, and we've marked a lot of really neat structure on the bottom on the reef. And we decided we better come up here and anchor up and try a little chum and see what we can come up with.
Well, I've been thinking about it for a year. We're in Islamorada. We needed some filters to do yellowtail in the way you like to do it. Chum them to the surface and catch them with live bait.
Yeah.
Now we can catch them with the chum and slop, but the real big ones, those 5-pounders, they're 5 pounds for a reason. They want to eat a meal.
Yeah, those are nice fish. I mean, if I'm going to go out there yellowtailing, I try to target, the larger ones. Those 3-4 pound fish, 5 pound fish.
Backbreakers, man.
They are. They're hard pullers, and when you actually clean them, man, one of those fish can feed 4 people.
Yeah, and it's so good. It's worth the effort to go out and find the bait. But here we are in Islamorada now, and we got, I'm a little bit below this area. I have some friends who give us some direction to go look for them, but then we're relying on electronics to make sure the water's deep enough to take the boat in, and we found some pelicans off of Indian Key.
Catch us a little live bait, Walker, and do a little reef fishing, buddy. We got 25-mile-an-hour east winds today.
Left. Hard left.
Hard left. Do is we drift down on these baits, turn the motors off. They like to run from the engine, so you just kind of set up a drift with the wind and just kind of float through. See what you see. Got some pelicans up here on the bow.
Going over the shallow spot.
Look at the drifting ability. I should be a sailor. Well, I sailed this thing in here to the birds.
An hour later, we're ready to go catch some fish with a live well jack full of pilchards.
Yeah. It was really rough, and we were able to save some of those spots on that GPS from last year and run out there and find a nice break on the bottom where it dropped from I think it was 75 to 90, and we anchored up right on that deep edge because, back home, I like the deeper I am, the bigger the fish are. It just seems that way. So if you can get your anchor to hold out there on that deepest part of the reef, it tends to be that you're going to catch a lot bigger yellowtail.
Well, that spot you chose, we just drug the bag in a circle, and we were almost out to 135 feet. That was a heck of a drop that you
well, a lot of times that's what I like to do a lot is I throw that bag in. I'm always like, hey, Scott, get that bait ready, that chum ready, because I want to drag that bag in that 60-foot area and make sure I catch all those smaller fish and drag them out to that deeper edge too, and then also do a deep drag so I get those bigger fish out on the deep edge. And I think what happens is you get them little fish in there, they're a little bit more aggressive, and they'll come up and they'll draw those bigger fish into the boat. It seemed like, they're all nice fish, but it seemed like our bigger fish were later on in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Liking what you're doing, Scott. Liking what you're doing, buddy.
Man, he's pretty still beneath us. If you drop that back on the bank in Venezuela, you come back with the sailfish as quick as you come back to blue marlin. This is the preferred bait over there.
Into the Blue, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Yellowfin, only in a Yellowfin. Yeti, wildly stronger, keep ice longer. Simrad, brought to you by the new Simrad NSS Sport touchscreen display, and by Costa Sunglasses and Tailwalker Charters.
15 Seaguar is super duper skinny. Looking for Stevie, speed you up.
I should get that hook.
All right. £12-pound main line to 15-pound fluorocarbon. That's a double uni.
A lot of people like to tie swivels and big double lines and all that stuff. We like to keep it real simple, real clean. Can't even tell there's wire on there. Real simple.
Shortly after that, the bonitas came, and the bonitas wore me out. I was exhausted before I caught my first real yellowtail. I mean, but it was all a process. And if we'd have given up just because we can't get through these bonitas, you know, we'd given up a great opportunity, because you had the chum line established. And the bonitas are going to come first, and they're going to take their share. But then they're going to thin down. And when they thin down, my tackle was ready. I was using that new Senshi mono from
Seaguar, yeah.
Seaguar.
That was good stuff. But you even said it. You're like, man, my customers would have said, let's leave. You know, there's bonitas here. Let's go. It's time to move. I could never get my customers to wait around this long. But that's something you got to take from this, is you got to realize it's a process, man. You got to work through, you know, first you're going to work through your spade fish or your, you know, chubs or your blue runners or your bonitas. Work through all that, get them out of the way. You know, hook a couple, they're going to back off. And those yellowtail will show up. I mean, it all takes time. You know, a lot of times we'll sit there for an hour prior to even catching what we're looking for. Small grouper.
To start, small grouper that's 22 inches is delicious. Float, baby. What you got?
A little black.
Seeing the yellowtails up now. Black grouper. Oh, he's close, isn't he? 20.
I don't know if he's gonna make it.
The old, something bite him on the way up.
Florida Keys largemouth bass right there.
They could eat one of those bonitas, no problem.
Did you have a little measuring stick?
Yeah, we got a measuring stick on here.
It's about ½ inch short, but we better check.
That's your guess?
Get in there.
Here's your old Florida law stick.
Lay it down there, buddy. Needs to be 24.
All right, well, there it is. Gonna come up short. Hold it there.
Oh, ½ inch, dude.
½ inch. All right. I'm sure he's got another one here. Put that law stick right on the cushion here. Birds are stealing. A little bit later, it's not the same boil, and then you look, and it's just those big flag yellowtails just tearing them up, and you know, it's just like, now it's time to really get busy. Are they close enough that we can hook them and they can't, you know, pendulum down to the bottom before you come tight? You know, you're in 70 feet of water, but if you're getting a bite at 90, that fish just swings down. He's got 20 feet to get into those rocks where you can do it. And it was a true test of the tackle. And I mean, I didn't want to use braid this time, so I just wanted to really give this new line a try. And I might have got rocked up, but not many.
Well, one time we did, and we got him out.
And
we got him out.
Free-spooled it one out.
Free-spooled it, and a lot of times you take that pressure off that fish, they'll come out of there.
Mm-hmm. That was a neat little trick. That was one more fish in a box from an old-timer's trick there, for sure.
And then the braid, like you said, you know, I mean, braid's a great product. I use it all the time, but the one time I still jump back to mono every once in a while is when we're targeting those big yellowtail. Those fish are very smart. I tell people, if you can figure out how to catch yellowtail, you can catch anything in the ocean.
Absolutely.
And when I say that, I mean a big yellowtail. You know, I'm not talking about the little guys. I'm talking about those big 5-pound fish. Those fish have been around. They've seen every trick in the book. And once you get that figured out, I mean, you've got it licked.
Target species.
Good one?
A good one.
There you go.
Fine.
But that 20-pound, there you go, man. That's the ones we want right there.
That's the ones we've been waiting for all morning. Look it up.
That was that live bait back there.
He's going in the Yeti.
Yeah, put him in there and get another one. know something started in there. Wait, lay him down. Scott is careful around these teeth nowadays.
He's still gonna bite me.
Into the Blue, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Mercury, Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here, and by King Sailfish Mounts and Spear One.
Marking some fish right here, Scott, so we're gonna drive up a little bit further and we'll put the anchor down. You wanna get it out?
No problem, buddy.
And we don't need to let a whole bunch of scope, okay? I don't wanna get too far back. I'll tell you when. You know, the tip I wanna share with you guys today is how I like to set this boat up and how I like to have my electronics for, you know, day in, day out use. Simplicity is definitely something you're looking for. You know, we have two screens here, and what I've done, what I choose to do, and a lot of the guys that fish down here, is, you know, we like to have one of these screens to be the bottom machine, and the other one to have the chart on it. With having the configuration set up like this, it's really critical when I'm getting ready to throw the anchor, because, you know, I only want to anchor one time. I want to get it done and get it done right. Well, with me having the bottom machine right here, the chart plotter, and the navigation page, you know, this navigation page is going to get me within feet. You know, it's saying 2 feet, 3 feet from that waypoint. I'm checking the bottom machine, making sure I have the depth I want. I got the chart for the contour of the bottom, and all those things combined, those three things at one time, not individually looking at one to the other. I mean, I got them all running, everything at once. I'm putting that anchor down exactly where I want to be, and we're a lot more successful and we catch a lot more fish.
How deep we fishing?
About 85.
Where are we gonna be when we come tight?
Yeah, maybe 90, you know?
All right, we're on the bottom.
Maybe just double that length or so, and then we'll tire off.
All right.
With being able to position these screens in any way I want, it's only Simrad for me.
Moved out just for a second. Got him. See, it was rocked up. Woo!
It's gonna be a good one there. Only them big ones usually rock you up.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's as big as a mutt snapper there. Want to put his head in the dip net? That's 20 pounds. Leave it all on you, baby.
Man, that leader's all chafed up.
Go for it.
Ready to run into rocks.
Woo! Thank you.
Man, that's a nice fish. that right there is what 99.9% of the restaurants in the Florida Keys have as a special. Big Florida
slammer tail.
Yeah, big Florida Keys yellowtail. I mean, what a pretty fish. Great eating. Nice white meat. That's a nice size fish too, buddy.
Put him in the Yeti, baby.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but I thought my first one was nice.
No, that one's twice as big.
That's twice as nice.
Good job.
That's a yellowtail, boys.
Need about 20 more of them, Walker.
I'm on it.
We've got Christmas coming. I got presents to give out.
I know what you're giving up.
We'll get another one in there. We'll get some water going in there.
All right. It was really cool. You know, we randomly picked a spot just from your knowledge of what you like to see on the bottom.
Marked a little bit of fish.
The bait was there, or the marks were there, and then we picked a proper ledge and set you know, a great technique, and then we had them up and for an hour or so.
You know, these electronics are making it so simple nowadays. You know, they're just reading that bottom so crisp, so clean. You know, they got the chart plotter, you're looking at the bottom contour, getting out there, doing a little riding around. I mean, in no time, we were anchored up on some good marks. And, you know, it started out with some predators. You know, we had a couple kingfish and...
some big kingfish. We put one in the boat as 30-plus pounds. I know as big as my leg. We spent the rest of the afternoon wearing ourselves out on those things.
Yeah.
Amberjacks, kingfish, but the bonita. It was really rough. I mean, no doubt about it. That was a tough condition for the average the average fisherman, and I wouldn't recommend everyone doing that. But if you're pressed for time and you got a good boat that you're comfortable in, you can do it.
Yeah, we were in a big boat, 36 foot. It was rough, but we weren't that far out. I mean, literally from here, we were 7 miles. I mean, that's not a long run.
No,
I mean,
you see shore all day.
Yeah, you see land. I got you busy with the yellowtail. Then I was actually trying to catch.
I was having time of my life. Yeah, I don't get to catch them now.
No, I know. And usually you're driving or running the boat, but I got to drop to the bottom a bunch. Really trying to catch a nice grouper. It's still a little warm here right now. The water temperature's up. We were able to catch.
You're having a hot, cold front.
Yeah, a cool front. But we ended up catching, all kinds of rock hinds, a scamp grouper, which is a really cool grouper. He's got that broom tail.
I was watching you real close. If you ever popped a black grouper, I was taking that pole from you.
Yeah. And then we actually caught I think we got a nice mutton snapper on that little bonita. You caught me that little baby bonita. We put him down.
That was the most surprising thing of the day. I didn't mind putting the bonitas down, so I thought maybe we'd get one of those 40-pound blacks, those old guys that are just so elusive. But I think your third bonita down, you hooked up like, all right. But it obviously wasn't going to be the 40-pounder, but I thought it'd be a black. And when it came up, a mutton snapper,
nice mutton,
that's the biggest bait I've ever used to catch a mutton.
Yeah, that was cool, and yeah, it's surprising they can put that in their mouth. But hey,
a whole bonita.
He's going to get what he can get, and that's what he wants. But I always want to have a bottom rod down when I'm doing that. When I was a kid, my dad always said, "Oh, you're always fishing for the one," because we'd be commercial yellowtailing, and he wanted as many yellowtails as you can. But I was always over there with the big rod, or I was always letting out a top line for a big king, because catching a yellowtail all the time kind of gets old, but you never know what you're going to catch on the bottom.
Man, it breaks a fish, that big spirit when you do that to him.
Beautiful fish, man.
Oh.
There you go, baby. Woo. Strong work.
Look at how much chum's in that one. Don't let him open his mouth again.
No, that's all right.
I just got it off of me.
Beautiful yellowtail, Scott.
I know.
Want to be on our show? Well, check out our Facebook page for details how you can be a guest on Into the Blue.
Into the Blue, presented by Yellowfin, is brought to you by Cigar, always the best fishing line. Okuma Fishing Tackle, there's no stopping Okuma. Marine Formula Stable, for everyday optimal performance and protection. And by Ameritrail Boat Trailers. And Under Armour.
Beautiful yellowtail, Scott.
I got my own problems. Happy for you.
This is the size you want to catch right here, buddy.
Oh, yeah?
These
Yeah,
like 3-pounders. Big old piece of meat on this thing. Beautiful fish. Put him in the Yeti. Catch another. Holy cow, what you got, buddy?
Pain in my side. You won't let him go?
Oh, keep him. What the heck? If he beats you up that much, we'll keep him for bait.
Thanks.
Scott, we had to get out there and get these yellowtail caught. We had promised a lot of people we were going to cook up some yellowtail snapper.
Man.
It was
Holidays
rough.
are right around the corner.
Holidays are right around the corner. It was rough. It's really nice to pick and choose the days you can go, but we wanted to get it done. We felt we could do it. The really important thing is when you're actually targeting food fish and you're going to bring that stuff home and present that, whether for dinner for somebody or as a gift, the key is how you take care of that stuff. You've got to get them cold as quick as you can.
Well, we had that Yeti ready for that, that's for sure. We had probably 40 pounds of ice. Since it was rough, we didn't add the water until we started catching fish. We didn't want them sloshing. And they couldn't slosh after an hour because we put so many fish in there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is get that water in there, get that ice in there, and get a good balance to where it's not real soupy. Yeah. It's more thick and dense.
After you're adding that salt water, it starts to smoke, actually.
Yeah, get them cold, man.
Right.
Get that water cold, get that fish as cold as you can, as quick as you can. When you lay that fish down to cleaning, that meat is so much stiffer. It's a lot easier. It holds together. If you're going to grill it, saute it, or whatever you're going to do with it, that fillet is actually going to stay together than fall apart on you. It's key ingredients when you're out there targeting those yellowtail snapper or any of that reef fish. It's all good eating. You want to be prepared. It's just as important as what bait you take. Take a lot of ice and get a good cooler and get those fish cold.
Now, our cooler looked beautiful at the end of the day. It was packed full of beautiful
colors, man.
Brilliant yellowtails and the mutton snapper. It was just that was my Christmas present, just opening that cooler and looking in there.
Yeah, there were some pretty colors in there, no doubt. Of good eating stuff. That's some of the best. You come to any of these restaurants in town, and that number one meal that they have. That plate, that dinner plate,
Some preparation of yellowtail snapper.
Yellowtail snapper, yes, sir.
And it is always, everyone's as good as the next. I mean, there's just no way to do it wrong, and the fresher, the better.
Buddy, I think we ought to get out of here, man.
I'm out of slop, I'm out of chum, I'm out of bait. Getting late.
And it is blowing, dude.
I can't even look at it and lose my hat.
Hey, I'm happy, dude. We got some nice big flags. Big mutton snappers.
Appreciate our hard work.
I mean, that's a nice yellowtail, buddy. I'd just love to know who pulled the plug on the cooler.
It was sloshing real bad. Beating them up.
Does that mean you're admitting it to yourself?
Yeah, I did. Once they were all covered in ice, I dropped the water level down so they're like it's encapsulated. That's the word of the day, encapsulated. You can write that down.
Spell it.
Word of the day.
Gonna go for ocean. Let me enter the blue. I get the motor emotion, and that's so emotion. I'm just kidding, bro.